Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Not Long Narratives. Um, a lot has happened today, and when I say a lot, I really do mean a lot. And where do I start? So I'm coming. Let me send some stuff to myself. Okay, so a lot has happened today, and I want to start with the West Ham game. So let's start there. I don't know what came upon me today, but something me just said today that I should watch West Ham versus Forest. And maybe it was the hate in me because I'm a Spurs fan and we all know what happened with Gibbs White with Nottingham Forest. So something just said, and with all the things that West Ham have been going through, I wanted to see how West Ham played because so far I have watched West Ham. Sorry, I haven't watched West Ham. Sorry, I have seen the stats and the stats were good. But then when I listen to people speak about West Ham, they say, oh, West Ham have been awful. And I'm like, yeah, but the stats don't say that West Ham have been awful. And I finally watched West Ham today. And what a game this was. Now, don't get it wrong. The game was absolutely boring up until the 84th minute. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. Like, there were barely, I mean, the game opened up after a while, but there were barely shots, like real shots on target and things like that. It was just a dull game. I mean, West Ham had some, but they were straight to the keeper. So yeah, it was a very dull game, lacking in quality, and one moment changed this whole game. By the way, West Ham did put in a very, very good shift. I think that their defense was really good today. Paqueta put in one hell of a shift. Fernandez put in one hell of a shift. A lot of their players put in one hell of a shift and they hung in there. Away at Forest, which is a very difficult game. They hung in there. They were able to stay there and just stay in the game. And that was it for West Ham. They just stayed in the game somehow. And like they were able to make it in the end. So yeah, I thought, like I said, their defense, their midfield, especially Paqueta and Fernandez put in one hell of a shift. Bowen was more in the attacking side. So yeah, but the game changed when this guy came on. So Callum Wilson had come on to replace Fulkrug earlier, but he couldn't really do much. I think he had one shot, but he couldn't really do much. But if you see here, then Somerville came back. So apparently Somerville has been injured for a while, and he didn't really have too much minutes in his legs. And he comes on, it's second minute. He comes on, and this game just needed somebody to sort of carry the game at the scruff of the neck and say, yeah, I'm going to win this game. And that was my problem with everybody on the pitch. I feel like everybody on the pitch was trying to shift the responsibility to the other person. And I'm the kind of person that back when I used to play football, or like the way I handle things in my life, I see things as this is my life and it's not over until it's over. So I'm the kind of person that while it's not over, I like to take charge of things and control my own destiny. Now, if things don't go well, I know I gave my all, but not like, oh, I leave my faith in someone else's hands and things go south and I'm regretting it. No, no, no. I'm not that kind of person. And that's how majority of the players today were playing like they were trying to pass the ball to other people. Like just take a shot, just do something. And 2 minutes after coming on, Somerville had an assist. What did he do? He carried the ball, drove into their box and laid off a pass to Bowen. Now, the Forest defenders were very physical, and Somerville isn't a physical player. He's more of a fair player. He was brought down, but he was able to nick a pass to Bowen, and Bowen one time shot to the bottom corner. So yeah, it was first time to the bottom corner exactly. So yeah, it was a very good finish. The second goal, I think it was a Paqueta pen. Somerville as well. He runs into the box. He's fouled. Penalty. Yeah. So yeah. He drives into the defense and he gets fouled in the box. Paqueta scores, and then the last goal was a cross from Diouf, Calamusin, free header on Matt, and he scores. I think Pep is going to leave City. He's done, bro. We're going to come back to City. We're going to come back to City because unfortunately I didn't watch the game. Unfortunately, instead of watching City, this was what I watched. I don't know why. Maybe it was my Nottingham Forest hate watch. Maybe it was just me wanting to see West Ham. I don't know why. This is why I ended up watching. But yeah, um, let's see. So yeah, that was it. And I thought West Ham sort of like I feel like West Ham couldn't afford to lose this game, especially considering all the things that have been happening at West Ham, and they had to win this game. To be honest, they really had to win this game, and they needed like Graham Potter was under fire, and he needed to give the fans something, like something they needed to put in a performance today, and I feel like they did. I feel like they did, and this was sufficient enough in my opinion. So yeah, I thought it was a good game by West Ham. They hung in there and they were able to go away to Forest and beat them, which I really liked. So yeah, it was a very good game, very tough, very hard fought win. It was a very good game. Um, the second game today that I watched was this game. Where is it? The one that everybody watched. Arsenal versus Liverpool. Now this game was a game of two halves, in my opinion. Very low quality, very low quality in comparison to the level of players that were on the pitch. I felt like in the first half, Madueke had a lot of chances, half chances, a lot of times to do something with the ball. He didn't do too much. Martinelli, the few times in the first few minutes they gave him the ball, didn't do too much, so they started going through um, Madueke's side. I felt like maybe it was the Saka effect in the sense that if you notice, a lot of teams, whenever your best player plays on a certain wing, it doesn't matter who is on that wing. Naturally, the team will gravitate towards or will pass the ball towards the person who is on that wing, even if that player is not there, because that's where your best player is and that's where they're used to passing the ball to. So it's sort of like innate, and it becomes like um, just nature to do that. So yeah, they gave the ball to Madueke. First half, they had some half chances. He had opportunities to do something. They couldn't. Their corners today, nothing. Maybe because Saka wasn't there and they mostly got corners from a specific side. So yeah, the corners today, nothing. Um, and I found that very interesting. And second half, Liverpool came alive. Liverpool fought back, and it took an absolute moment of quality, honestly, from Szoboszlai to win the game. I thought that the attacking play today was kind of bad. There were moments like there was a moment where I think McAllister could have laid it off to Salah and he tried to shoot. That was after the Van Dijk interception. Um, Gyökeres today wasn't fed anything. And that's the thing about this whole Gyökeres signing. I get it that Arsenal haven't necessarily played with a striker, but when it was game week one, when they were playing against when they played against Manchester United, I could understand it in the sense that Gyökeres was moving everywhere, he was floating everywhere, he was trying to get in crosses and things like that. I could understand it because I was like, okay, it's game week one, they're used to playing without the striker. But then it's game week three, and I'm still seeing Gyökeres trying to get crosses in. And the problem with Arsenal was that whenever they got crosses in, there was no number nine in the box. But if the number nine is going to the wings to crossing for who? Saka, Madueke, Martinelli. Is this a joke? What are you doing? Like, and I find it shocking that they are not using him as a traditional nine. He should stay in the box, and they are not feeding him. They are not feeding him. The wingers are trying to score. It doesn't make sense. You have a nine now. If you look at, if I go back to my prime predictions, I predicted Arsenal to win the league, but I also predicted Gyökeres to be the top goal scorer. And I my idea was they would feed this guy, and it's because of him they'll be able to get goals. Now, don't get it wrong. I don't think Gyökeres has been the best player, but I don't think that the Arsenal team have sort of helped him in any way, shape, or form. In my opinion, I don't think they've fed him enough chances. I don't think that he has been given opportunities. And if anything, if you even think back to his goal against Leeds, he had to create it on by himself, or the second goal, which was a penalty as well. So he has had to create it by himself. So yeah, I don't feel like the Arsenal team have done enough for Gyökeres. I think credits where due. I think today um, Vets look brighter, and I said it today. I said that this might be the kind of game that Fioren Vets starts to wake up, because it's a big game. He's a quality player, as everybody's saying, and quality players thrive in fixtures like this, as we saw with Soboslai. So yeah, I thought it was a very interesting thing. I think there was an injury to Konate today, which I thought was very interesting, because I already think that Liverpool are short at centre back, and which is why I found the Joe Gomez links away from the club quite funny. Because if Joe Gomez is going to leave, then you're swapping one for one, and if anything happens to either Konate or Van Dijk, then you only have two centre backs. It didn't make sense to me, and if I was the one, I would keep Joe Gomez, and I will also bring in Guehi as well. It was the same thing with the Chiesa and Javier Elliott leaving. I didn't think it was a wise decision personally, and it seems that they've realized that, and the two of them will be staying. So yeah, I found that very interesting. So yeah, it was a very weird game quality wise, because, like I said, you would think that the quality of the players in the team, the game would be better to watch, but from what I saw today, it was just an absolute stunner of a free kick that was the difference between the two sides. Like, honestly, no goalkeeper is catching that. But yeah, it was an absolute stunner of a free kick, and a good game, a good game. And I was wrong. I thought Arsenal would be able to get something out of this game. Eberechi Eze didn't seem to do too much when he came on. Odegaard as well didn't seem to do too much. I don't think that Liverpool were ever really uncomfortable. Like I said, Madueke had his moments in the first half, but over the course of the entire game, I think, looking back at it now, they were quite comfortable. They were quite comfortable. Just maybe one or two moments where they lapsed, but overall, I think they were quite comfortable. So yeah, um, Diego said, "I think Pep is going to leave City. He's done. Arsenal play pack the bus football." I think Pep. I don't know what to make of City, honestly, and I think I will wait until the end of this season to see what to make of City. I do think that there's the context of a lot of people coming into City, and these players will need to adapt. But I think that there's something that has gone under the radar at City in the last couple of years, and that is the caliber of signings that they've been making. So yeah, I get it that Jack Grealish was a very important signing for the treble, but Jack Grealish is a player now that has left City. Matthias Nunez is a player that they signed in midfield that they ended up playing at right back. Doku is a signing that a lot of people complain about. Calvin Phillips was an absolute flop. A lot of their signings in recent years haven't necessarily been hits. And I feel like because of a lot of their signings in recent years haven't necessarily been hits, um, you're now having to flood the team with a lot of new players. And that is a problem, because there are now lots of players trying to adapt at the same time. And I think that is kind of like a problem. So yeah, I think that with Pep, I don't want to make any judgments. I don't want to say anything definite. I think that it will improve with time. But if they can win the league, I don't know. I don't know. But you never write off City. Never write off City. I think that Cherky having injury for, I think he's out for 2 months. Um, I think that's a huge blow. So yeah, never write off City, but I think that they've not been good enough so far. They've not been good enough so far. I didn't watch the Brighton game, but winning 1-0 and going to lose 2-1 is shocking for City, especially considering the amount of investment, considering the Tottenham Hotspur performance last week, considering everything. And it looks to me like from here, the Brighton were even more dangerous. So yeah, um, it's very interesting to see. So yeah, it's exciting to see. Let me check who they play next. Let's check who they play next. They play United, they play Napoli, they play Arsenal, then they play Burnley. So they have United. This is going to be a big game. They play Napoli and they play Arsenal. United is at home. Okay, let's see how they go. But I don't think that I would write off City if I were the one. He said Arsenal play pack the bus football. I think they play very structured football. I think that in order to play how Arsenal play, and I sort of am questioning their signings now because their signings are not looking like good signings, in my opinion, so far. And I think that in order to play how Arsenal play, in order to be able to win the league, you need quality up front, like world class quality up front. And I don't think they have it so far, or it doesn't look like they do. And they are not feeding Gyökeres, so I don't even know what to make of him. So yeah, and he's not in the box. He's floating left. He's floating right. He's getting in crosses. You are the one that's meant to be in the box on the receiving end of crosses and things like that. So I find a lot of these things very interesting. I don't know. I don't know what to make of Arsenal yet, but I do know that they attack when the likes of Martinelli and Madueke are starting is not good enough. That might be they might be able to get away with it against the smaller teams, but against the bigger teams, I don't think it's good enough, in my opinion. So yeah, let's see how they go. Let's see how they go. Um, a lot has happened in since yesterday. A lot has happened, and I want to start with Jackson. There were reports that Jackson was going to go to um, Bayern, but now he's going to stay at Chelsea, and I think that is very messed up. So yeah, let's see how things go with Jackson. But I think this whole Chelsea thing is very sad because this is a guy that you guys basically chased out of the club, and then because you have an injury, you're now forcing him to stay at the club. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me, to be honest. So yeah, personally, I don't think that is good enough from Chelsea. I think that if the player wants to leave, he should be allowed to go. Sorry, I'm trying to open my biscuit. So yeah,
Unlock your iPhone first.
give me a second. So yeah, that's my thought on the old Jackson situation. I think that if the player wants to leave, he should be allowed to go, and you shouldn't force anyone to stay at the club, especially when you try to chase them away. And I heard some Chelsea fans actually talking about this, where they said that Chelsea need three strikers because if anything happens to one of them, then they will have only two or one. Sorry, and that now something has happened to Dila, and now they want Jackson back. But there are some reports now that they've recalled or they've reached an agreement to recall Magu. So that's very interesting. And maybe Jackson could leave. Maybe Jackson could go to Villa or something. So yeah, um, that's just my take on the whole Arsenal situation. Um, as Arsenal, Chelsea situation and Jackson situation. Um, there's been sorry some reports linking Martinez to Manu, I don't see the logic in it. I don't think that Martinez is young. I think he's not young. I don't see the rationale in signing a goalkeeper that is old and is a short term fix. And I don't think that he would leave for cheap to Man U. So that's just me and my opinion on the whole situation. But yeah, I do get it in the sense that he's prime proven. If it's for cheap, I'll take it and then look for a long term solution later down the line. But right now, short term, it doesn't make so much sense to me. But if it's for cheap, Man United are quite desperate. They need a goalkeeper as quickly as possible. So yeah, it would make sense in that sense. I also think that they need a midfield as well. So that as well. Um, there were some reports today. I need Pep gone now. Diego, what is your problem with Pep? Why are you angry with Pep? Let me know in the comments why you're angry with Pep. Let me know why you're angry with Pep. Ederson is leaving. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Let me know why you're angry with Pep. Why exactly are you angry with Pep? But yeah, while I while I wait for Diego, let me um let me continue with this Ademola Manus. But Diego, let me know why you're angry with Pep. Um, so they said Tottenham are one of the clubs who have approached Ademola Lookman about a possible transfer. However, Bayern have already submitted an offer. Honestly, on the winger and defender front, I'm not even hearing too much about Tottenham, and I don't even know where we go from here. I am starting to get concerned because we have 1 day left, and I'm starting to panic. Like I've been calm, but genuinely speaking, we're in trouble if we don't bring in anybody. So yeah, um, Pep will never change his tactics. We have no wingers. That's why I wanted Rodrigo, and our CB are too slow, and we have no right back. Give me a sec. So the first thing I need to say is Pep has evolved a lot of times. Sometimes he uses wingers that dribble. Sometimes he uses wingers that can't dribble, like that hold possession, like Grealish and Bernardo. It changes. Secondly, don't you have Bob Doku? Bob, I think Bob is a winger. I think Doku is a winger. I think Savio is a winger. I think they are wingers. CBs are slow. I think that's why he got in Kushanov. Now Kushanov isn't ready, but that's why I got in Kushanov. And this isn't the first time that you guys are playing a highline. You guys have always played a highline. You always play the highline. Then no right back. That I will agree with you. He let Kawaka go without getting in a replacement up till now. And you can't even say this or that because this is a squad. This is a squad. This is every player here he brought. So yeah, it's not good enough. For the right back, I will agree. But for the rest, I think I will debate you on that and defend him on the rest. Um so yeah, let me know your response to what I just said. Um there are some reports that Tottenham have made inquiry for Pavard on loan, but Inter Milan are not open to a loan. I think Pavard is right footed. Um It's right footed. And it's interesting that we're going for both right centre backs and left centre backs. Maybe if we get a left centre back, then Jesmens moves to the right. If we get a right centre back, then Jesmens stays a left back. So yeah, that's very interesting. And I don't know why we're not going for a younger profile because before we tried to sign a Kapi, and now we're going for Pabad Akonji Ake. It makes no sense. It looks like we're just looking for anything at this point. And that's concerning. Um, like we don't have a specific profile to me. Um, there are some reports a few hours ago that the Jackson deal is now 100% off. Bayern have pulled out, and Jackson will fly back to England. I'm heartbroken for Jackson, and personally, I'm not happy with that. Um, so yeah, I'm not happy with that. I think that he should be allowed to go, and I hope somebody else comes for him to take him. I think a player should feel loved, and he doesn't feel loved at Chelsea. Chelsea have treated him in a manner that is unacceptable. The manager has come out and said that it would be best for him to leave and things like that. Then you bring him back. What are you doing? But yeah. Um. Then the next update is that apparently Fabrizio said Manchester are already planning a medical for Donnarumma. Ederson has accepted Fenerbahce's offer. Manchester's response to the latest offer is awaited now. And I find this Manchester City's I will not let somebody go if we don't have somebody coming in interesting. Especially when the manager is complaining that the squad is too big. It's very interesting. I understand that Ederson was their number one, but I thought Trafford was brought in to play backup and then succeeding. So why are you letting Ederson go and bringing in Donnarumma, which will make Trafford now the number two because Ortega is also going. So yeah, I just find that very funny. Um, then the most interesting news of them all, and I think we all expected this, and I respect Newcastle for this. My respect for Newcastle now in these last few days has gone really high because I think that the reason why their stance has been that Isak is not for sale is because if they want to let him go, they want to get as much money as possible. You don't go out telling people that, oh, this player is for sale if you want to get a lot of money from it. So you have to say he's not for sale. And then when you say it's not for sale, then you can drive up the price. If you tell somebody it's for sale, like Ganacho, they'll rip you off. So yeah. So the report is that, and I know they've been looking for strikers, regardless of what they've said, they've been looking for strikers. So the report is that Newcastle will consider selling Isak without a replacement. Newcastle United will give serious consideration to letting Isak sign for Liverpool if they receive a bid of £130 million on deadline day. And I find this very interesting. And I think it's the right thing to do. Isak no longer wants to play for Isak no longer wants to play for them. And he has made that clear. And if a player doesn't want to play for the club, then no problem. It's not personal. Just let him go. To be honest. Just let him go. Um I'm checking for any other updates. Um I'm trying to check if there's any other updates. Okay, so majority of my feed is Tottenham because I'm a Spurs fan. But yeah, Justin, basically Spurs are competing for Akonji 3 hours ago. Um, I'm coming. Um, coming. Just Spurs news here. Let me just search transfer news. Um, so apparently, Sancho posted on Instagram with Man United's bomb squad and Lisandro. Then Paqueta did a celebration today, kissing the badge, I think, and he hung up the phone on the people who were calling. So I think that's a message that he's not going to leave. He's not going to leave. Um. So yeah, when it's called. There's some reports that Juventus have made an offer to sign Openda. What else can I see here? I prefer Lookman at this stage of the window. Leao will be impossible to get right now. Oh my god. Shanta. Shanta, I don't even know where to go from here. You know, I've been the one saying everybody should calm down. We'll be fine, we'll be fine. But at this point, I think I myself am starting to panic. And I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good. And I'm trying to keep calm. Yeah. And let me tell you why. You said Rogers and Leao will be impossible. I don't think Leao will be impossible. I think if Leao wants to leave, I think Milan will sell. Let's check. Um, let's check. Um, so they have Pulisic that can play on the wings. They have Chukwueze. They have Nkunku. They have Salemakas. They have, I don't know the rest of them, but I know those four can play on the wing. I think Musa should be able to play on the wing as well. So yeah, let's check forward, forward, forward. Yeah, that's all. I don't, and this guy, I don't know who this is. I don't think they will sell that. So yeah, you said at this point, even though I don't want that, you know the thing. You know why I'm angry? I'm angry because are you telling me that the people that are um scouting at Tottenham can't find their own Voltemad? And if you don't know who Voltemad is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well, but I'm talking about this guy, this 6'6" striker that Newcastle have signed. Are you telling me that our scouts can't find our own winger Our own Kravaskelia. Is this a joke? And they're being paid for this. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. Honestly, I don't know. So at this point, I will take Lukman reluctantly. I don't even think I will take Lukman. I think I would still rather play Matistel there. I know that we're rubbish. Than take Lukman. Matistel or Odebe. Than take Lukman. Um, sorry reports that we ask for an answer in the next 2 hours. Wow. Wow. Let me check. Tottenham Hotspur have made an approach to sign Lukman, but Claire, he must respond to them by midnight on Sunday. Yeah, this club is unserious. I swear this club is unserious. These people, I don't know how they get paid for their jobs. Honestly, they need to hire me at Tottenham. They need to hire me because a lot of people are not doing their work. Team Talk reports that Spurs have made new contacts. Look at see journalist. See journalist. He didn't proofread. Have made new contacts as they plot a potential deal for Lukman, who wants to leave Atalanta. Blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. A deadline because they have alternatives in mind, including Lucas Paqueta and Morgan Rogers. Manchester Savini has been the top target. God, Shanta, do you know that my head? I'm starting to feel stressed. If if we can't get Lukman, where do we go from here? If we cannot get Lukman, where do we go from here? Because we are finished. We're finished. If we miss out on Lukman, we're finished. I don't even know where we go from here. Honestly, let me drop this in my bin. I'm coming. But I don't know where we go from here. I don't know where we go from here. Honestly, I'm I'm concerned, and I didn't come here today wanting to talk about sports because I don't want to feel stressed. You know what? Let's do something. I want to do something. Um, let's do something. Let's check this. So I want to do something interesting, and let's see. I'm telling ChatGPT to see if Odobe has potential. Good player for like Spurs, West Ham, but not world class based on potential. So they don't think his ceiling is too high. ChatGPT doesn't think his ceiling is so high. Okay, let's check for Matisse. I don't know where we go from here. Honestly, I don't know. I want to maybe if I can find a player. What of him? If I can find a player, maybe we find a player for Tottenham. What I'm going to do now after this is I'm going to check League On. I'm going to check the top five leagues and find our own nick for Tottenham. Because if the Tottenham scouts can do it, somebody has to do it for them. So that is a gamble on stardom. Wow. So the two of them have been punts based on ChatGPT's honest opinion. You know what? Best dribblers in League One. Antoine Juju. Who is Antoine Juju? Antoine Juju. How old is he? 22. He's an average player. Okay. M- Mom- Mamoudou Diakyon. Mamadou Diakyon. Club Brugge. So he has moved. Okay. God. Best best young dribblers. I don't want in the world. I want Kudus, Rogers, Ulisse, Gittins, Savio, Doku. Best Kubo. Who is this guy? Um Andrea Rea Rat. Why is this thing moving now? What kind of website is this? Andrea Ratio. Okay, let's check him out. Who is he? Rayo, 27 years of age. He's a right back. Jamie Gittins, Florian Wirtz, Vinicius Mbappe, Dodi Leka Biao, Mohamed Kudus, Doku, and Yamal. Let's check. 27 years of age, right winger. Ayub Baobidi. What is this rubbish? I'm looking for dribblers. How to okay, sorry. Best young dribblers. Where's the list? This guy is at the. Did he not move to Saudi? Angelo, Gabriel, Chelsea, Kudus, Vinicius, Oscar Gluck, Julian Fernandez. Julian Fernandez, who is that? Julian Fernandez. New York FC, 21 years of age. God. Best dribblers in La Liga. God. Jesus Rodriguez. Hmm. Best dribblers in you have the French league, the Portuguese league, the Spanish, Italian, Serie A. Best God. Wingers. Mattia Zakagni. How old? 30 years of age. No. Pulisic. Yildiz. Tovin. Leao. And Lukman. Best wingers in La Liga. Inaki Williams. Pass. Roca. Who is J Roca? Girona. Roca. Joel Roca is 20 years of age. Is in number 9. Good Lord. Okay. What year is this? 2017. It's 2017 now.
Ruben Dias, you're number three.
Is there a moment or a game
I'm not able to find anything. And honestly, I don't know what to make of Spurs. So yeah, I'll just leave it there. I don't want to think about Tottenham because it's really stressing me out. It's really stressing me out, and I don't want to be stressed out for the good of myself and my health. So yeah, let me just check if there's any update. Sorry. Still the same old, same old. But yeah, that's it. I don't want to I don't want to talk about Spurs. I don't want to have to get stressed. So yeah, I said I don't want to lose my cool. Hopefully by this time tomorrow I'll come here with good news. So yeah, yeah, take care guys. Bye bye. If you came this far, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.